Guys, apologies. I think I dropped the stream there for a second. Apologies. I clicked on the wrong button. Is everybody, am I back with everybody? Are we all good to go? Am I back on? Everybody happy? We good? Apologies about that. Clicked it off for a second. Completely my fat fingers. Somebody just let me know I'm back on. With you guys anyway. Cool, there we go. Happy days. Apologies about that. No, it wasn't a technical difficulty. It absolutely wasn't. It was a fat-fingered, bald Irish fool clicking on the wrong button. Apologies. That was my fault completely. We are back. But yeah, I hope you guys like the name. I hope you guys can support the project. I'll let you guys know a little bit more about it when the time comes closer. That was just it for now. Again, apologies for that. I clicked the wrong button when I was closing that off. So yeah, let's get back to Liverpool chat. Let's get back to the talk about PULISIC. Let's get back to the talk about LIGT. Let's get back to talk about whatever the hell you guys want to talk about. We've got 2 weeks of an international break to get through. You are clearly too eager to crack on with the show, said Connor. There you go. Back on Thumb 4. There you go. Thank you guys. Apologies again for that. My big fat finger's just getting in the way. Right, so with regards to PULISIC or Perisic, not Perisic, Connor has Perisic in my head, excuse me, PULISIC or LIGT. Anyone have a preference? If we had to put it down to one, if we could only afford one to come in, which one does the club need more? Christian PULISIC or Matthews LIGT? Which one? What have we got? Boring international break. Craig, what about the crack on t-shirts? Haven't even thought about that, Stephen. Haven't thought about it one bit, mate. Not a clue. What we will be doing, actually, and we spoke about this before, we will be starting the GoFundMe page over the coming weeks for, yeah, that crashed the show, there you go. The chat crashed the show, the new logo just made a crash. And we will be starting the GoFundMe page, actually. We spoke about this a couple of months back, and we asked you guys if we never wanted to charge for content, and we never wanted to push funds or money on top of you guys. But we did ask you guys if you think it would be okay for us to start a GoFundMe page to try and fund new cameras and new equipment that we're trying to buy to push this forward. Everybody seemed to be warm about it, and everybody seemed to think it was a good idea. So we've done some research, we've looked into some equipment, and we're going to put that launch sale up in the next week or two. So we hope you guys can jump on there and support us. It really would mean the world to us. We're going to try and get this equipment because we want to make better content. We want better cameras, we want to be able to film outside, we want to do things more professionally. So I'll give you guys the details when it goes up. If you can support it, that would be amazing. Yeah, it would be great. So thank you guys for that. Craig, I missed the pressing that we had last season. Let's bring back the pressing we had. I read a really interesting article today, Damien, on that very thing, mate. They were saying that, actually, I think I took some screenshots of this, so bear with me. I wanted to talk about this, actually. Yes, so on the pressing, the article was saying pretty much what you'd said there, mate, that we haven't seen the same style of pressing from Liverpool as we had in previous seasons. So I'm going to read out from this article, so bear with me. It said, the most important pressing metric is known as PPDA, opposition passes allowed per defensive action. So we'll just go through that one again. The most important pressing metric is known as PPDA, opposition passes allowed per defensive action. This takes into consideration passes in the defensive and middle third of the pitch based on the team in possession and defensive actions in the final third. Last season, Liverpool ranked 4th for this metric, allowing only 11.2 such passes per defensive action. This season, they find themselves down among the bottom half of the same metric, allowing 13.5 of these passes per defensive action. So basically what that's trying to say is, when Liverpool lose the ball, then it gets back to the defensive team. Last season, we were only allowing an average of 11.2 passes before we regained possession. This year, we've fallen a little bit down in our pressing, and that's gone to 13.5. But there's a twist on this. Liverpool look to turn over possession quite highly up the field, as we know, and Jurgen Klopp firmly believes that if we can turn over possession higher up the field and press higher up the field, that we've got less. Basically, if you win the ball back in midfield, and this is very layman's terms, so bear with me. If we win the ball back in midfield, the opportunity to get from midfield to the goal is going to involve more passes, more players running with the ball, and more chance for players to lose the ball or an opposition player to come back and dispossess. If you win the ball higher up the field, or the higher up the field you win the ball, the less chances or obstacles there are between you and the goal. So Jurgen Klopp firmly believes that winning the ball as highly up the field as possible is as effective as it can get. So of the 58 high turnovers this year, only 6 have resulted in a shot on goal, which is pretty poor. So we've turned over possession 58 times this season in the opposition's final third of the field, and only 6 of those 58 turnovers have actually gotten as far as us having a shot. Manchester City have introduced the same number of high turnovers but have 11 shots from them. Tottenham also have the same number of high turnovers but have had twice as many shots from them. So Spurs have had 12 shots from their 58, Liverpool only had 6. The aforementioned game against Huddersfield highlighted this problem well. Only 1 goal separated the sides at the end, and David Wagner's side could have even have nicked it. So what they're saying there is, we are turning the ball over. We're turning the ball over up the field like we did previously. We're not pressed to the same extent, but we are turning the ball over. We're just not as clinical as we have been. Now, that for me is good, and that might sound silly, but at least we're creating these opportunities. Now, you imagine we create these opportunities when our forwards are on song, or when our players are full of confidence. That's when we'll click. So it would be worse if the players weren't doing the pressing, or if we weren't winning the ball back. We're just being a little bit more peculiar about how we press, if that makes sense. We're playing different teams in a different way. It's not all just pressing. We're still pressing, but we're doing things slightly differently. And that may be why we've allowed ourselves to see out games. We may have taken a few less risks going forward. I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but from my layman's terms, and being a fan, of course, and watching the games, these stats do make sense. And what's most promising about them is, once we become more clinical, everything's fucking tickety-boo, because we're creating the opportunities, or we're dispossessing the players in possession. So there's a lot to be positive about. I don't like to be negative. I don't really like to talk negative, but that's just my interpretation of what I read today. And I would have completely forgotten about that, mate, so thank you for bringing that up, Damien. De Ligt would pair really well with VVD because of the nationality, says Alex. He really would. Theo Giles says, score prediction for Ireland versus Northern Ireland and thoughts on some young players like Robinson getting involved. Theo, honestly, mate, I'm not a big fan of international football, mate, and if I'm being brutally honest, I can't think of anything more boring than watching Ireland play Northern Ireland in a game of football at this moment in time, particularly under Martin O'Neill. Always good for younger players to get a chance. That's a bonus, absolutely. You want more young Irish players coming through. You want them to get the chance at the highest level. So absolutely on board with that one. But as with score predictions, mate, I don't know. And without being horrible and being blunt, I honestly don't care. That's how little I care about international football. I know that sounds harsh, mate, but I have to be consistent. I've always said it. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I just don't like international football that much. If Ireland were the World Cup, will I watch it? Yes, of course I will. I'm patriotic. But when it comes to stuff like this, or maybe I'm a glory hunter with international football, I don't know. Well, how could I be? I'm Irish, I couldn't really be a glory hunter, but I think you know what I'm trying to say. De Ligt is managed by Mino Raiola. When he moves from Ajax, it'll be to the highest bidder. He'll not be moving for the best of his career. I fucking hate Mino Raiola. I fucking hate that slob. I honestly do. He is one of the fucking biggest problems. One of the most overpaid, annoying fucking slobs in the game of football. I despise agents at the best of times. Not all agents, there are some good agents there, but Mino Raiola is in a class of people that I really just do not like. But what I will say, Marty, is at the end of the day, what we have to remember here is Mino Raiola works for De Ligt, not the other way around. So I always laugh when I hear players are getting bullied into things by their agents. The fucking agents work for the players. Nobody would be telling me where I was going if I was a footballer. Nobody. I would be dictating where I'm going or what offers I'm going to listen to. The agent is there to negotiate contracts, negotiate deals. Other than that, it's down to the player. If he wants to move to Liverpool, it's his fucking agent's job to make it happen. So I know agents are powerful these days in football, but I just don't believe. Well, I know what happens, but I can't believe that some players allow themselves to be pushed around by their agents. They fucking work for them. Christopher said, big thumbs up for Pulisic for me. Watched him for Dortmund. Brilliant player. Haven't seen enough of De Ligt to say what I think of him. He's brilliant, mate. Honestly, he's brilliant. Darren Calvin said, like. Thank you very much. Guys, do drop a like on the stream, by the way. I don't think I've said that one yet. It means the world to us. I really do appreciate it. And of course, if you haven't yet subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. We're growing rather nicely, but we've stalled a little bit. That could be because the season's got into a bit of a lull, but You know, if you're watching and you haven't yet subbed, it just takes a second. I think you'll enjoy it. I hope you'll enjoy the rest of the content. If you're enjoying tonight, then you'll enjoy the rest of it. Liverpool have signed Man City's physio. We spoke about that one yesterday. Theo said 2-0 to Republic of Ireland, McLean and Robinson to score. I hope McLean doesn't get the abuse that looks like it could be coming his way. I hope people just respect his decision. Craig, when is the next Liverpool game? Are you going, or when's the next Liverpool game you're going to go to? It's tickets, Benjamin, mate. It's all fucking tickets. If I got tickets, I would be there twice a month, probably from January onwards. It's just about me getting the availability of tickets. If I can lay my hands on tickets, I'll be over. If I can't, then I don't know. I'm kind of refusing to start paying the prices that I paid in the past. I'm not paying our travel agents ridiculous fucking money anymore. I'm not paying 500 and 600 quid to go over and watch Liverpool play. I'm just not. So if I can get tickets for reasonable money, I'm over. If not, then I'm going to have to miss out. I've just gotten to a point in my life now where paying 500, 600, 700 quid 4, 5, 6 times a year to watch Liverpool, it just doesn't feel fair. It just doesn't feel right. I know that I can get a ticket to go over and watch Liverpool. If I got a face value ticket, let's call that €85. If I got a flight over there and I bought it at a reasonable time, let's call that €100 return with Ryanair, and I got my hotel, I halved it with somebody in a room, stayed there for 2 nights, probably cost me 100 quid. So I could probably do that trip for less than €300 plus spending money. Now, whatever about the spending money, that's down to each individual's preference, but with regards to getting over 300 quid for 2 nights accommodation and getting there is probably what it could cost me. If I go the way I've had to go in the past, going with travel agents and stuff like that, that 2 night trip can cost me between 500 and 700 quid. It's more than twice the money for the same fucking hotels, the same game. I'm just paying these fuckers a tax, basically 100% tax nearly on what I should have to pay for the privilege of going to watch my own club. It disgusts me. I've done it in the past because I've had no choice, but I'm getting to the point in my life where I'm starting to question how much I'm willing to part with to go and watch Liverpool, because I just don't feel, I feel like I'd rather spend the money on my kids if I get stuff at a reasonable price, and it's all down to the match ticket. That's all, this goes around the match ticket. The flights are always available, hotels are always available. If the flights aren't available, if it's late and it's expensive, you get the boat over. There's always ways to get there. But when it comes to fucking match tickets, it can be ridiculous. As you guys know, it's the same for everybody. It's tough to get tickets these days. So, in answer to your question, mate, it just depends on the availability of tickets. LFC are pressing, Man United are depressing, says you see. When Hendo and Naby are fitting in the side to be a totally different proposition, said Brian. We spoke about this last night, mate. I cannot wait to see Naby Keita hit form. I just cannot wait for it. Furno, how are you, mate? Great to have you in. Blakely says, has Klopp ever thought of getting Thorgan Hazard? I don't know. He's was he not owned by Chelsea at one point? Am I mad, or was he owned by Chelsea and loaned out to Borussia Mönchengladbach? I was sure at one point Chelsea had signed him. Would you guys take Aronovich as a backup for the front three? He'll most likely leave West Ham this year and he wants to play in the Champions League. For a cheap fee, why not? Well, he wouldn't be for a cheap fee. There's no way West Ham are going to sell him for a cheap fee, particularly not to another Premier League club. He isn't there that long, so his contract couldn't really be running down. Would I take him? I don't know. On his day, I think we spoke about this on Twitter, mate. On his day, Aronovich is quality. He can be almost unplayable at times if you get him when he's on form and he's up for it. But he seems to be a bit of a stroppy git as well, and he doesn't seem to show up all the time. So I don't know if he'd have the consistency that we'd need. But does he have the capability of it? Yes. I just haven't seen him deliver it on a consistent basis yet. What's the news on the LIGT? We've already covered it twice, mate. It's basically that Virgil van Dijk has come out with the national team and joked about the fact that if the LIGT comes to Liverpool, that he's not going to break his transfer fee. He's also said that Liverpool's scouts will have been looking at the LIGT. Just a few little things like that. Nothing concrete, mate, but they're national teammates. If Van Dijk is joking about it, he obviously rates the guy. There's no doubt Liverpool will have been looking at him. Every club in Europe will be looking at Dilly. He's a top class player. So yeah, let's just wait and see. But if you want the absolute answer to it, mate, just Google Dilly and Van Dijk and you'll see the full transcript there. What happened to you talking? You're talking, but it's not matching up with you. Your mouth movement. I don't know what. Is anybody else having issues? Anybody else having issues with the sound? Connor said refresh the page, but I've not seen anybody else having issues, Tina. But just hit refresh. What's happening, Craig? How's the crack? Have you not got any members clubs over there? I do, Kevlar, mate. And here's the funny thing. I was a member of a supporters club, and I don't want to say which one because I don't want to ruin it for other people, but the guy that ran the supporters club I was a member of, he also supplied tickets to the travel agency. And basically what was happening is we were getting the leftovers. So whatever he couldn't sell or get the cream off or sell the most money for was what was being left to the members. Now, there were some tickets available for every game, but in the whole, I wasn't happy with the way it was going. There's been occasions where I booked games. I'll give you an example. I booked the Steven Gerrard's last game for Liverpool. I booked that at the very start of the season, way before Steven Gerrard had announced he was even leaving. So the only reason I booked it was because it was the last game of the season, and there was a load of people in the club who wanted to go. The supporters club made a big deal. I was trying to get people to come over for this game. They called it the club's annual trip, so they wanted us to make everyone to make a big effort for this one. So I did. Booked it nice and early. Then Steven Gerrard announced that he was leaving the club and announced that this would have been his last season at Liverpool and he was moving on. What then happened was an email got circulated and my day trip over there suddenly got changed. The day trip that I'd already fucking paid for, let's not forget, had then become changed into a 2-night stay that was costing 690 something euro, if memory serves me correct. Now at the start I paid I think 160 quid for my trip, for my day trip. That suddenly became a 600 quid 2-night stay because Steven Gerrard had announced that he was leaving. And that was already after I paid for it, booked it, and had a friend who got it from his missus for Christmas. And then we had to cancel our fucking trips because we were refusing to pay the rest of the money, or we couldn't afford to pay it at the time. I can't remember which one it was. But yeah, so that's the type of shit I went through in my supporters club. So yeah, fuck that supporters club basically. And that's against the rules as far as I'm aware as well. I don't know the absolute rules to run a Liverpool supporters club, but I imagine that what he was doing was against the rules. No one else having issues with the sound, so I just suggest refreshing it, Tina. Hopefully that solves it for you. Do we all think that only Klopp could turn Hazard into a good player? I don't know, I just don't want fucking Hazard, fuck him. Honestly, I don't want Hazard, fuck him. Members club out, absolutely, Mr. RJC. It wasn't a good experience at all. And that wasn't the first time, by the way. There was a few other instances of stuff like that happening. And there was also bullying within the club and a few other bits. It just was not a nice place one bit. Alright, I'm off to work. Hope you guys are having a good evening. Good night, Rod, mate. Or good afternoon. Good morning to you, actually. It's Australia, sorry. Have a good day at work, mate. What else have we got? Anybody else seen any other news or tidbits that they want to go through, Liverpool related or not Liverpool related? We briefly spoke about Ranieri becoming the Fulham manager. So for anyone that doesn't know that, Misa Ivanovic was sacked and Ranieri was instated as the new manager. Also, the guy who was in temporary charge at Real Madrid has been given a contract to 2021. A few other bits and pieces as well, but nothing too major. I just really hope that Liverpool don't pay this 250k towards Richard Scudamore. And their silence as well isn't filling me full of confidence. I would give me left testicle to watch Liverpool play, said Christopher. I'm not sure. Are you in Ireland, Christopher? Mate, if you are, then you'll get over there at some point, buddy. Would you take Ryan Sessegnon to be a good signing for us? Absolutely, Ferno. Absolutely. Ryan Sessegnon is going to be a superstar. Wherever that young man goes, he's going to have a great career. Being linked a lot to Spurs. Some links to Liverpool, but the more serious ones I'd seen were to Spurs. But wherever he goes, mate, he's going to be very, very good. He wanted to have a season with Fulham because Fulham were his club when they got promoted to the Premier League. I think if Fulham didn't get promoted, he may well have moved. But let's see how this season pans out. He hasn't quite done as good as he did in the Championship. It happens with younger players. I mean, he has taken a massive step up as well. But defo, I would definitely take him at the club. I think the lad was talking about Thorgan Hazard. I don't think he was. I think he was just taking the piss. I know, Rod, I think he was taking the piss out of Eden Hazard. That sounds messed up, Craig, regarding the members club. Thieves, I joined one this season. A few games at good prices, but I've heard horror stories like yours. It wasn't great, mate, I have to say. There was some things worked out well. Got to some games and got to some good games as well. I got to 3 derbies with that supporters club. Got to see play Chelsea, Arsenal. Lots of good memories as well. But yeah, there was a hierarchy at the club and it just wasn't great. Unless you were willing to lick arse and fucking, do what you're told and fall in line, then it wasn't great. Evening, mate, Craig. Sorry I've been inactive the past few streams. Decided to go and injure myself and rule myself out for up to 8 weeks. Sorry for sniggering, Keen. I was just laughing at the apology more than anything else. I hope you're alright, mate. 8 weeks, that's a serious amount of time out. Any specifics on the injury, mate? What was it? Ferno said Ranieri will keep Fulham up in his opinion. Will the new physio deal with the medicals? No, the club doctor deals with the medicals, mate. And some of them part of it takes place in a hospital, but again it will be overseen by the club doctor. Physio's more, I believe, for rehabilitation. Northern Ireland, but as you say, getting tickets is the main problem. It is, Christopher. They can be got, don't get me wrong. There's ways of getting them, and I hope you get over to a game soon. And if you do, I'd highly recommend going to a European game or midweek night game. I just love going to Anfield under the lights. Louis said, hey, what the fuck, no notification came up on my phone saying you were live. Louis, mate, you're not the first person to say that to me today. I don't know what is going on with our notifications. A couple of people have mentioned to me that even though they have notifications turned on, they're not getting notifications when we go live. I honestly can't say why. All I could possibly suggest is to turn them back off and back on again, and hopefully that might solve it. I'm so fucking useless when it comes to YouTube and stuff like that. But Connor has said it's a problem with some channels, and I don't know why ours is one of them. Megan Onke said R.I.P. John Wilson from Go Fishing, who died yesterday. Dilly ding dilly dong, that's gone over my head, Cameron buddy. You mentioned earlier we're light on the left wing. I definitely think we are. Would you see Pulisic playing there? He could play there. He could also possibly play in behind the front three. It's tough to say because he can. If Klopp brings in a player for the front, we know he's going to be able to play in a few positions. Where specifically he'll play, I don't know. Would he play in Mane's position? Again, maybe. But I don't think anybody is bar maybe Salah, possibly Bobby. Very few people are guaranteed to start in place in all of our games. So he could play on the left. He could play anywhere across the front three, I believe, Brian. The older he gets, specifically, I believe he could possibly even move centrally or a little bit deeper. Interesting to see, and I'd love to know what Klopp would do with him. And I've no doubt that he would already have a plan of where he'd play him because he knows the guy, having managed them before. He's fucking class though. He really is class. And he had a bit of a dip last year with Dortmund. But then again, the entire club went downhill last year with Dortmund. Is that how old is Dele? And if he did sign, what do you think do you think he would cost a lot? 19, if memory serves me correct, Tony. And would he cost a lot? I suppose that's, how long is a piece of string? I would say you're probably talking somewhere between 30 and 50, I'd guess. I'd hopefully err on the lower side of that, but I would guess over 30, under 50. Craig, maybe City's owners bought your supporters club that season, possibly. Possibly. Torn ligaments and tendons in my shoulder. Was a pathetic injury, but oh well. It was my fault. A gym injury. Well, I hope you're okay, mate. And one thing I'll say is do not rush back. Worst thing you can do is try and rush yourself back. Listen to your body. If your body's telling you it's not the right time, mate, then it's not the right time. Your notifications came up twice for me, so that's what the problem is. Ferno's fucking robbing everybody's notifications. He's been a big greedy bastard and taking all your notifications, so hashtag blame Ferno. Connor said it's YouTube's issues, they're fucked. They're also not allowing us monetization, Connor, so they're absolutely fucking us on every front. Every front possible, they're sticking it to us. What more do you want from me, YouTube? I'm even wearing a fucking YouTube top today. An LAFC top that happened to be sponsored by YouTube. What more do you want from me? YouTube have an agenda. Well, not a fucking Anfield agenda, but the looks of it. What else have we got? I got 2 notifications too, said Frankie. Was that at the start, or was that because I fucked off, accidentally hit the wrong button and came back on? That could have been when you got 2. If Van Dijk's able to convince the LIGT, I'm going to be so hyped. And yeah, I've no idea. It's never happened to me before, said Louis. Tina said, Craig, what do you think of ESPN saying Bamba is better at defence? That's honest to God, Tina. I've seen Jace Roberts actually retweeted that earlier on, as in to say, don't take this fucking seriously. Saul Bamba is not a better defender than Virgil van Dijk. That's a great case of stats being used to prove something that just isn't fucking true. So I would ignore it. I would take it with a pinch of salt, Tina. We all know that Bamba's not a better defender than Virgil van Dijk. There's a reason that Bamba is at Cardiff City and that Virgil van Dijk is now at Liverpool. It's just stats being used in a bullshit way yet again. They should know better than that. If Van Dijk is able to convince the LIGT, we've done that. Harry Wilson defo has a future at the club. He's the same age as Dembele and he's so good for his age. Deserves a chance now. One thing I'll say about Harry Wilson, Ferno, is you're right. He can't do much more. He's doing really well. Scoring some amazing goals. That free kick against United was just fucking delicious. So yeah, there's not much more he can do. So they're going to have to make a call on him soon. You must not be playing by YouTube's financial fair play laws. Possibly. Ryan Coakley said, hello Liverpool fans, how are you, mate? Great to have you with us. The USA coach, the Dortmund coaches, but what else is that? Other than them, Klopp will know what he's able to bring. And Ryan said, how are we all feeling today? Very good, mate. How are you? I got a notification 20 minutes into the stream, so I just refreshed subscriptions on YouTube after 11 PM. I've seen fuck all of Pulisic, only clips and the odd game, said Brian. He's very good, mate. I'd watch him from this season though. I would ignore last season. Either go the season before or this year. But he's been very, very good. He's had a lot to deal with as well with regards to the US men's national team because he's been fucking carrying them for the past couple of years, and that's a lot to take on at such a young age. James Pearce thinks he knows everything. He thinks he knows what's going on inside the club. He dismisses every player we're linked with and then we end up getting him. For example, Alisson. You have to understand as well though, like James Pearce doesn't do this shit on purpose. He could well be briefed by the club on certain things. He could be trying to dampen expectations. He could be trying to stop what happened with Virgil van Dijk happening again. We don't know. All I can say is I've met James Pearce on a few occasions. I've had him on a podcast. I've chatted to the guy. He's a lovely fella. You would not meet a nicer, more down-to-earth, humble guy. He really is very, very nice. So anything Piercy does, I assure you he's not doing it just to be a prick. 2 notifications is because the stream went off earlier. Absolutely, Megan Onke. Welcome, Ryan, said Paul. Again, great to see. I love the way people welcome new people into the stream, mate. Great to see. Great to have you with us, Ryan, by the way. You a Liverpool fan, mate? Do let us know. And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, buddy. It's great to have you with us, but don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications and drop a like on the stream. But let us know. I hope you're red anyway. What have we got? Christopher said, could it be brought in to replace Mane in case he doesn't sign the new... I was waiting to see who was going to be the first to bring up Mane when we start talking about Pulisic. And then particularly when Brian started speaking about him on the left wing, I thought to myself, somebody's going to fucking mention Mane next in his contract. I wouldn't say so. I would say that we need another player in that position. Well, in the 10 or in the wide position anyway. And if for some reason Mane was to leave in the future, and I don't think he will, nor am I saying that he will, then I think we'd go and get somebody else on top of Pulisic or Fekir or whoever may come in next. Lallana out in the summer and Harry Wilson to take his place, said Mossy Wassy. Okay, what else we got? Craig, can you repeat what Pulisic said about the Premier League? He said that every young player wants to come and play in the Premier League. It's every player's dream to come and play in the Premier League. So he obviously wants to be here. Now I'm not saying, when I say be here, I don't mean at Liverpool. I mean he wants to come and play in the Premier League. Now if he wants to play in the Premier League, then Liverpool should be tripping over themselves, doing everything they can to get that young man over here. I don't know what more could be done. I mean, he's running down his contract. He'll have a year to go at the end of this season. We spoke about the marketing opportunities. We've spoken about the level he is as a footballer. We've spoken about the relationship he already has with Jurgen Klopp. And we've spoken about how we have American owners that would absolutely know how to capitalise on bringing Christian Pulisic into the club. So everything to me is in place and makes sense. So yeah, they're the comments he made anyway. I actually forgot to bring them up. I was so excited to talk about Christian Pulisic, I forgot to bring up the comments that he made about young players' dream being to come and play in the Premier League. Sol Bamba is shit and all rival fans are actually rattled, said Louis. That was ESPN or something though that put out that mad fucking stat. Something mental like. Brian said ESPN is fucking hilarious. Steve Nicol makes some show of himself on there every week. When I was in America, Brian, on holidays over the past couple of years, I've watched a few games and I've watched a few of the commentators in America, and you're right, Stevie Nicol is hilarious, but some of the lads they've on there are just fucking useless. I mean, we have shite over here, but what some of the people in America have to listen to while they're watching Premier League games is absolute dirt. What is the surname? What type of surname is that? Ryan? I don't know. We'll leave that one alone. When Wilson going to be in Liverpool's squad? Will he be the free kick taker? Could be. No idea. I honestly don't know what's going to happen with Harry Wilson. I don't know if he'll come back, if he'll be moved on, if he'll be sold, if his contract will be extended. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But what I feel Liverpool have to do is make a decision, because I think the young lad deserves to know what path his career is going to take. I hate seeing kids held back at clubs while the clubs don't know what to do with them. So I'd rather Liverpool made the decision and said, look, he's either going to come and get a chance at Liverpool or we move him on. For him, I hope, either one happens. This is the El Jimbo love-in I subscribe for, said Connor. There you go. Connor loves a bit of James Pearce. Absolutely loves him. I spoke to you guys last night about how when we were at the press conferences I was like a giggling little child whenever Klopp came into the room. Well, that was what Connor was like when he met James Pearce. I'd love to see Connor's reaction to seeing James Pearce for the first time. It was priceless. It was fucking priceless. Honestly, it was. I actually have a picture of Connor where he's smiling with James Pearce behind him. I'm not even joking. Obviously, Craig, I want Pulisic and also want Mane to stay, said Christopher. Maybe in a couple of years we should look at Jadon Sancho. I think there will be a lot of Premier League clubs looking at Jadon Sancho. He says, can't even fucking string a sentence together. Looking at Jadon Sancho very soon. Where we got Bouvet from 90 Minutes Football on YouTube said that too, not just ESPN. Well, then I would go on to say that Bouvet from 90 Minute Football on YouTube is also a fucking idiot. Honestly, how do these lads get given a forum to spew their absolute nonsense? They see a stat, they go, oh look, this actually makes some sense, and let's go on there and try and make out that Sol Bamba is a better footballer than Virgil van Dijk, because one specific set of stats have him shown higher than Virgil van Dijk. If he says that or thinks that, then he is a fucking idiot. If you come out with stuff like that, you are gone. You move quickly up into the Mark Goldbridge category of fucking idiot for me. This season, Mane and Salah are more central and are obsessed in the scoring goals. I think that's why they can't see their pace so much down the wings, and that's affecting our attacking play. I don't buy into the selfishness stuff, Mike. I just don't. People tried to say that last year at the end of the year, and there were times where I do feel that Salah got a little bit selfish from the reasons of chasing that golden boot, but I don't think that they're denying each other opportunities or they're being greedy. I think Salah's playing more central from what I can see this season. I don't think a lot of the play has gone down Mane's side. Now that could be an absolute misconception. This is just something I spoke to Connor about. I've noticed from my interpretations of the game or the way I've seen him, a lot of the time the ball seems to be going more down the right hand side. That could be wrong. As I said, often my perceptions or anyone's perceptions without being backed up by stats can be wrong. The stats were obviously made up, I could tell, said Louis. I wouldn't say they were made up, mate. I'd say they were more, they just happened to fit. Like they're absolutely not applicable and they shouldn't be used in that context, but you could use stats to prove pretty much fucking anything from any perspective. Now stats used correctly are wonderful, and stats should be used to form a well-rounded opinion, but the people who just put stats up to try and prove that X player is better than Y player when he clearly isn't. You need to use stats in the right way. I stay away from using them because I don't know how to use them correctly. I'm aware that I don't know how to use them correctly, so I stay clear of it. I leave it to people who are much more capable of talking about stats. But when I hear people talking about stats who clearly are as stupid as I am when it comes to using them, then I need to call them out, because I hate anybody professing or making themselves out to be a fucking expert or more knowledgeable than other fans when they clearly aren't, and they're putting themselves in this position and trying to look down on people, talk down to people, and believing their opinion is gospel. At the end of the day, most of the football channels on here are just fans. Nobody is professionals, very few of them. None of them have degrees in statistics, or well, some of them actually do, to be fair. But basically we're just fans. We're just lay people who've played the game at a certain level, like watching the game, love our clubs, and like to come on and talk to other Reds. So I've all love and respect for anybody that does that. But if you start getting above your station and you start thinking that you're something that you fucking ain't, then I believe you should be called out on it. Because your opinion is no more valid than Connor's, than Paul's, than Tina's, than Louis', and Tony's, than anybody else's. We all know that is complete bollocks. There is no way Bamba is even in a conversation with Virgil van Dijk. And I think we've given this stat too much time already. What else we got? I did, Craig, how can you even compare? Said Tina with Saul Bamba. I know, it's nuts. Saul Bamba is shit, end of. What else we got? Sorry guys, my mouse is freezing. There we go. What sort of surname is that? Ryan, done that. Bad News Pierce, done that. Okay, where are we? Bring in Fakir and give him a bionic knee, said Mr. RJC. His knee seems to be holding up, although is he out with an injury at the minute? Am I after actually making an absolute show of myself there? Hey guys, look at me, I'm Ryan Coakley and I support the worst football club in the world. Okay, I've absolutely lost that one. Have we missed something? Has Ryan said something? I don't know, I've lost the plot here, guys. Why is my mouse having a stroke? Where was Ryan? I thought he was a nice guy. Was he after turning out to be a weirdo? Right, I'm going on from there. What else we got? This season Mane and Salah are more central. We spoke about that one already. Goldbridge acts like he's a fan channel, but he doesn't interact, mainly just rants his opinion down their throats. Well, to be fair, a lot of fan channels don't really interact that much from what I can gather. Now, I'm not saying that's right or wrong. Everybody can run their own channel how the fuck they want. Goldbridge is a dick. Look, let's just call a spade a spade. He's a little mouthy dick who just says stuff for a reaction. I just fucking hate that guy. He's so false. Of all the amazing people on here that make fan content, he for me is just the bottom of the barrel, and not because of the type of content. Well, it is kind of because of the type of content he makes. It's more because of him. He's just so false. Everything he does is for a reaction. How many goalkeepers have kept more clean sheets than De Gea, but who's really better? That's a weird question. Or many goalkeepers have kept more clean sheets than De Gea, but who's really better? De Gea is, from my mind, still the best keeper in the Premier League. In my humble opinion, I think De Gea is the best keeper in the Premier League. He might be going through a bit of an iffy patch, but consistently, season on season, he's been absolutely amazing for United. What else we got? No, one of them, I don't know what the fuck that was. You guys having weird conversations in here. I'm trying to read through them and I just don't understand it. Okay, I'm already bored of this guy. Hang on. Yeah, I'm bored of Marcus. See you, Marcus. You're already boring me. Chat's gone a bit weird since Mr. Mad Marcus came in, so I just time to boo him out. Goldbridge World is Mark Goldbridge. A few people think that. I don't know, maybe it is. If it is, then I feel bad because I said I like that channel. And you're not the first one to say it. A couple of people have said it. My De Gea comment was to share your view on stats like Bamba. Apologies, Ryan. He's a great goalkeeper. I fucking really do rate De Gea. I know he's having a sticky time of it, but the amount of points that he has gained Manchester United over the past few years is ridiculous. Cheerio, Marcus. I mean, I didn't even read his comments. I just seen that he was annoying other people, and I just thought, fuck that. Couldn't be bothered. Our chat is a nice place with nice people who say respectful things to each other and, disagree from time to time, but no time for idiots. What have we got? Well, in my opinion, I think Goldbridge World is Mark Goldbridge, and why the fuck did my comment get deleted? It wasn't us that deleted it. It says message retracted, so it wasn't by us. When it says message retracted, mate, it was done at your end. If we delete it, then it says it was hidden by, deleted by, or taken away by. Ryan said, are you from Ireland? I am indeed, Ryan. I am originally from Dublin, but I live in Wexford now, mate. How about yourself? We got your back, Ryan. Absolutely, mate. We're a family in here, so welcome. Great to have you with us. Get to know the people in the chat. Never mind that Marcus lad. The rest of the people are really, really nice. And as they said, they will have your back. They'll look after you in here, mate. It's always great to welcome new people into the family. And it is a family. This is a community channel. We're only here to bring Reds together and, to get to know more people from around the world that love the same club we do. So welcome. De Gea ruined his career when he signed for United, said Megan Nonke. I think he probably made the right move at the time, but I feel he probably should have left by now. His career has not stalled because he's been amazing, but I just think he's not at the level he should be with United. That United team aren't doing him any favours. Ryan is Irish, great to hear. What part of the country are you in, mate? Yes, Ryan, we're a crazy bunch, but we're decent, said Christopher. That's, absolutely fucking true. We are decent. We do talk some absolute nonsense from time to time, so do take us with a pinch of salt, Ryan. Goldbridge World sounds like the world's shittiest theme park. It really does, Brian. It really does. I'm trying to imagine what type of rides we could have. Let's do that for the last 15 minutes for the fucking laugh. Let's have a little exploration of Mark Goldbridge World, or Goldbridge World. What rides would we have in this theme park? If Goldbridge World was to come into fruition and we were to make Goldbridge World, what would we have? What are the shittest rides that we could put into Goldbridge World? Craig, fuck you. It's okay, Marcus, you can write fuck, mate. See, you didn't even get to say that properly, you got booted out. Shit one, isn't it? Fuck you, he said. There you go, he couldn't even get a chance, mate. Yeah, sorry Marcus, they're just too quick on here, buddy. Maybe go make another account and come back in again. Maybe call me a bald nonce this time, or maybe, get a proper dig in before you get booted out. Yeah, tough one. It's tough on you, Marcus, mate. You didn't even get a second chance there, but it is what it is, buddy. And if you're going to say fuck you, just write it. Just say it, it's okay. I won't be offended anymore by if you put the C and the K in. Or the U and the C, whichever case it might be. Max, how are you? Great to have you in, mate. James Fullen has joined. Good evening, James. Imagine censoring words in 2018. Some people just don't like language, buddy, and I suppose we respect everyone's opinion. I always try and warn people on here that you get language. If you tune into this channel, you're going to get cunts, you're going to get fucks, you're going to get pretty much everything, because that's unfortunately the way I talk. I'm too old to change at this point, so I am who I am, and if people don't want to swear, and some people don't swear, I respect them as well. What's this about, mate? Which thing? We're forming Goldbridge World here. We're making a theme park. So we're turning Goldbridge World into a theme park, and I want to know what type of entertainment or attractions are we going to have in Goldbridge World? What shit rides can we put into Goldbridge World? The Cantona Kung Fu kick bag, said Brian. There you go. There you go. Every time you kick it, you get a cup of fucking tea thrown in your face. Just like Cantona got when he kicked your man. Mad Marcus is Gark's troll channel when he gets mad and wants to be a big man. Man, we special little soldier gets tough. If Leeds come up to the Premier League, will Milner leave for his boyhood club? A few people have spoken about that. I don't know, James. It's a good point. I don't know if Kloppo would like to lose him either. I mean, he probably has another season in those legs of his, those never-ending James Milner, fucking Benjamin Button, Ribena-filled legs. But if his boyhood club come up and he wanted to go, then I'm sure the manager would respect his decision and wouldn't want to begrudge him that opportunity. let's see what happens. I mean, James Pearce deserves to finish his career however he wants. He's an absolute fucking legend. Pulisic, good player, very much so, James. Very, very much so. Excellent player. And more than just a footballing sense as well. I know that doesn't really make sense, but we have to look at it from a footballing perspective and a business perspective these days. And Christian Pulisic is very good from a marketing perspective for Liverpool Football Club, as well as being a top-class footballer. The pink boots toboggan, said Mr. RJC. The hairdryer roller coaster, said Brian Morrissey. How does this work? I'm trying to picture the hairdryer roller coaster. No, I can't picture it just yet. It's a good name. I just can't picture it yet. The third log flume. There you go, Megan Unky. There's a ride from the third log flume. As in third T-O-R-D. Sorry, my Irish accent's probably fucking that one up. It's not third like as in you came third. It's third T-U-R-D. The flip, helter skelter, said Mr. RJC. It's a Smalling world, said Connor. And for those who don't know, It's a Small World is a ride at Disneyland. So It's a Smalling world. That's a good one. That's a great shout actually, Connor, to be fair. Craig, would you take Aronovich as a backup? We talked about this one a little bit earlier, mate. And basic answer was no. I don't think he's consistent enough, but he is good enough. When he's on form, he is good enough. He's unplayable at times. I just don't think you get enough from him on a consistent basis. Isn't Milner from Leeds? He is indeed from Leeds. Well, he's from Yorkshire. I don't know if he's exactly from Leeds, but he is from that neck of the woods. Where else have we got? It's a Smalling world. I have that one. We will have Risa released the Kraken into somebody's balls. Couldn't say I've heard of the LIGT. What position is he and is he decent? Wow. He's a centre back, mate, that plays for Ajax. He also plays for the Dutch national team alongside Virgil van Dijk, and he is more than decent. He is one of the next superstars in that position in the world, so he would be a tremendous addition to anybody's team. Whoever gets him in the future will be getting a tremendous talent. Yeah, really, really good player. I think that one dislike was from Marcus. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. There's Marcus maybe, and then we have somebody else who's been lashing the dislikes out a bit lately. And we know exactly who they are. It's so funny. It's so petty, but look, leave it be. Didn't realise your window looked over Anfield, Craig. Yeah, I mean, I got them clean, so that may be why. So for everyone that's joining late, and there might be a few, I just want to quickly go back and let you know about the new project myself and Connor are starting in the, well, I don't say when because I'm not exactly sure exactly when, but we spoke about a new project that me and Connor are going to do, a new podcast, a new YouTube channel, a new show that's going to be non-Liverpool related. We're going to be talking about subjects that me and Connor just think need to be discussed. Things that we think we can have fun with and things that we think we can bring interesting conversations to. So if you have a look here beside me, you'll see the name of the new show. I've blurred it there for effect. Let me just get rid of that one. Right, so there it is. The name of our new show is Crack On, which is of course a combination of my name and Connor's name with the I in the middle, which is a microphone in this case. Now when we write the name down, it's going to be capital C, capital R, capital A, small I, capital C, capital O-N, just to differentiate between Craig and Connor. Really proud of that name. Cannot wait to get started. Cannot wait to get back with it. It's going to be good fun. I'm back. Sorry guys, I'm back again. Connor, every time I change scenes there, it just closes down. So I can't do it anymore. Anyway, apologies guys. And yeah, my window does look over Anfield. That's great. Apologies. Every time I change scenes, Connor, in OBS, it just closes down. I've no idea what's going on. But I'm back. Relax. I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to change the fucking image again. Apologies. Yeah, every time I change scenes, mate, it crashes. So, I don't know. I'll have to just leave it there. Anyway, back to this one. So, any more rides before we finish up? You pressed the wrong button again. No, I didn't. I realised actually this time it wasn't my fault. I realised that the software that we use, it's called OBS. It's what allows us to use the green screen and put the images around us and stuff like that. It crashed. It crashed every time I changed scenes, which basically moves from me to the picture of the Crack On logo that you've seen. Anyway, apologies. But it wasn't my fault that time. Streak's gone, said Louis. That one made me smile. Any more rides before we finish up, or will we call it a night, guys? Because what it is coming up to 5 to 12. It's going to be tough to get through these next 2 weeks. I mean, no Liverpool. We've got international football, but you know, who really cares about international football? That was the second yellow, so it's a red card, said Lars. You know what, mate? Fair enough. I mean, it is deserved. 2 yellows are a red. I can't argue. I can't even appeal this one, can I? Can I appeal it? Can I ask for a personal hearing? You're back. I am, Louis. Apologies again. I don't know what's happening. It was just crashing whenever we pressed the scene change, which is basically what allows us to go from one screen to the other. The Mourinho bus ride. There you go. There you go. That's a good one. The Mourinho bus ride. That would be the most boring fucking thing in the world. You basically just get on this simulator and it drives you to a multi-storey car park and you park the bus. End of ride. Sancho will start for England, but apparently Joe Gomez missed training. Fingers crossed he does. Fingers crossed he doesn't make any of the England games and he has to go back to Liverpool and he'll be grand, relaxed, rested and ready to go. Can't be cheering on Rooney for England. That's weird, that whole situation. Rooney playing for England again. It's weird. I know it's for his charity, I understand all that, but his charity aren't even getting any of the gate receipts, so it's just weird in every sense. Brian said I did 2 more. 2 more what? What are we doing 2 more of? Oh, there you go. Whack a training ground mole. Nice. And where was the other one? Oh, the flying teacups. Oh, yes. You've nailed that. You have absolutely nailed that. The flying teacups is a fucking belter. Absolutely nailed it. Well done. As we know, that did happen. Or was it a boot as well? Was it a boot that hit Beckham in the head? Or was it a teacup? But the flying teacups is an absolute beauty. Jurassic Gark 4D experience. I was waiting for that. How did it take so long to come up with Jurassic Gark? Well in, Connor. The Biddy Titty ride, said Megan Onke. We have to have some type of a ride experience as well about his, you know, his experience in Mallorca when he was on holidays where he was attacked by a fruit seller with a knife. We have to work that in somewhere as well. I'll have a Mourinho not driving it. It says famous patch phrases and holds up 3 fingers. There you go. That's the most boring ride in the world. House of Horrors, just saying, said Rod. Good show. I don't know about that one, Ferno, mate. Maybe you could ask Origi to take care of that one. What else have we got? Steve, how are you, mate? Thank you for joining us. Great to have you. Don't forget to let us know your comments, mate. Let us know what part of the world you're in. Let us know if you're a red. And of course, I hope you hit that subscribe button as well. But more than that, welcome. Shrek back to Shag UK Grannies. I mean, if that isn't a right name for Goldbridge World, I don't know what is. The fruit seller. Oh, nice. Nice. The United stand, it's just a load of people standing in a big group. I told you, I have this vision of if Goldbridge doesn't get to do a stream or if the internet's down in his gaff or something, I bet you he puts all his teddy bears on the bed and he puts them all sitting there facing them in a semicircle and he stands at the edge of the bed and he does a stream to them. He just sits there and talks to them all, points at them and does his little impressions of Mourinho as well. Goes back to Gark, back to Mourinho, points at the teddy bears, and I'd say he does a full 2-hour stream of that as well. I mean, I don't know for a fact, but I'm just saying. Jace has joined. God almighty, Jace, it's late for you to come in just at 12 o'clock like that. Total eclipse of the Gark, of course, a classic. I'm a true red, LFC for life, and I'm in the West Midlands. Welcome, Steve. Great to have you with us, mate. What have we got? Make an experience like a tour park where you have to see how you would deal with a fruit seller in real life. There you go. Loads of people say Gark actually supports Forest. I've seen that before. I don't know. There's loads of pictures of him as a kid in the United shirt, isn't there? To be fair, so I don't know. He's just Mammy's special little soldier. I don't like the guy. It's fair. It's obvious at this point. His name is Brent. Dumbo the Flying Gark, said Paul Turner. Although we could do something there with Dumbo. What's your man? Phil Jones and Dumbo. I think we could do something there. We could maybe have Dumbo's ears on Phil Jones or something. The United Coconut Stand. Nice. Nice, Mr. RJC. Nice one. Scissorhand Gark, said Lars. Brent the Caesar. That isn't his name, though. Let's be honest. That isn't his name. Brent Goldbridge. That is the weirdest name ever. Brent Goldbridge. The only thing they sell at Goldbridge World is Man United mugs. I'd say he has his own fucking... I'd say he defo has his own United Stand merch as well. Gark face. There you go, Gark face. Is that as wrong as blackface? I imagine Gark face would be equally as offensive to the world as blackface. It would have to be. I mean, blackface is disgustingly wrong. And Gark face to me would offend me every bit as much, because that fella's face just offends me full stop. Phil Jones will be at home in the haunted mansion, making tackles with his lad popping out and his balls popping out. Mark Goldbridge is actually massive on social media. Absolutely. Fully aware of that. He is huge. His account is really big. His account on Twitter is massive. His account on here is huge. He knows how to work social media. Absolutely no doubt about that whatsoever. But he's an absolute prick. Absolute prick. Mark's Goldbridge. Goldbridge Meltdown Arcade. DT or Gark Crade. Ooh. It's a tough one. It's a tough one, Louis. I probably dislike Gark more because he's completely fake. DT, I feel, I don't know the guy. He just comes across to me, and I don't like the way they run that channel, by the way. But that's a whole other thing. That's their own business. He just seems like a wannabe rude boy. He just seems like a wannabe tough man, and I don't buy it. But no, Gark every day of the week. But I don't particularly like DT either. But that's for different reasons. Gark is just fake in every sense of the word. He's just fake. Did you hear the rumours Phil Jones was wanted by Spurs? What were they thinking? I don't know, mate. Gark side of the moon. Jay says, I've no idea what's going on. Right, Jay, so where we are is, somebody started talking about Goldbridge World earlier on. It came up for some reason. So then we said, let's turn Goldbridge World into an actual theme park. And what type of rides could we have in Goldbridge World? We just thought we'd have a bit of fun at the end. The Fruit Hunters Gark. It's a movie, not Gark though. Fellaini's Funhouse. Did you see he got his hair cut actually today? I don't know if everybody's seen that, but Fellaini got his full fucking head of hair chopped off. He's got really short hair now. It's so weird seeing him with short hair. I saw a video of him getting called a cunt by a child in Spain. Oh, can't wait for a new season of Who's the Biggest Moaner featuring Gark and DT. Yeah, it's... Look, what Arsenal do, Arsenal Fan TV, AFTV, whatever the fuck they're called these days, for me, they just make a mockery of their own fan base, which is just wrong. You want to show the best of your fans. You want to make... You get funny comments, you'll get mad reactions and stuff, but you want to show your fan base in a positive light. They just show their fans up for being arseholes, and if I was an Arsenal fan, man, I'd detest that shit. For us as outsiders, it makes us fucking piss ourselves laughing, but if I was an Arsenal fan, I'd be embarrassed at the stuff they're showing of the fan base. What's going on with Pulisic? He's come out and said that it's every young player's dream to come and play in the Premier League, and there's a couple of outlets reporting that Liverpool are interested in him, which we know they are actually. They've been interested in him for a long time, but with 18 months left on his contract, a few are suggesting that perhaps we might see Liverpool try and put a deal in place. I had the Divock Origi ride, just for you, mate, just for you. The Lord cut his afro off. It's mad. It's so weird seeing him without that hair. We could have different levels of membership in the park. Bronze Bridge, Silver Bridge and Gold Bridge. Nice. Connor, you're very creative, mate. Fair play. Gark and the Magic Roundabout. Gold Bridge of Cries. The Bullshit Ball Pit. Do you know Pulisic is a mank? Well, he supports United, he's not a mank. But yes, I did know he supports United, mate. And that's no problem. Players often support different clubs. Brian said, yeah, that was me. I started Goldbridge World, and now I think it's real. I'm getting tickets, mate. I'm looking for a fucking season pass. I'm seeing if they do family rates. What else we got? AFTV losing revenue since winning streak. I don't know. Like, if the club going to distance themselves from the fucking name, like making them stop use Arsenal in their name, if that doesn't tell you something, then just give up. Like, they're making money off it. I don't know the guy Robbie, by the way. I've absolutely got no dealings with him ever. And do you know what? I've fair play to him. He's worked hard. He's got to where he is. He's off doing the stuff on Channel 4. Nothing bad to say about Robbie whatsoever. Just the channel I dislike. I just dislike the way they portray their own fan base. AFTV losing revenue. Will Fellaini now lose his world-class powers? No, his elbows are still sharp as fuck, Kev, so he'll be grand. He's still able to slip people with those elbows. Do you think Fellaini can run fast now? He'll miss many heads going now. One thing I'd say is, if I was ever to do charity boxing, or if I was ever to do, is it white collar, blue collar boxing, I don't know what it's called, I would fucking kill. I would love to get in there with DT. I mean, I would do that for charity, 100%. 100%. Nothing would give me greater pleasure than punching him around a boxing ring for charity. I would even probably train, like I would get up off my fat ass and train, just for the privilege of getting in there and punching his head around a boxing ring for charity. Fuck, it would make me so happy. And to think that it was raising money for charity as well. I've watched them a couple of weeks back, not a bad DJ. To be fair, there's a guy called Graham on there, he does the great analysis, fair play to him. Well look, if they do good analysis, brilliant. That's sound, that's what you want a fan channel doing. Connor said Robbie's a prick, blanked me before after asking me to do work for him. There you go, Connor's had an experience with him, I haven't. Yeah, and look, just to get back in the Revenite comment, if there is a guy on there called Graham that does match analysis, then fair fucks, that's what you want a fan channel doing, fair play to him. That type of stuff is exactly what fan channels should be doing. But getting reactions of people just for effect, it's just wrong. What have we got? He just gets bullied in the live chat. Exactly, it doesn't tell you all you need to know. Even your own club doesn't want to be associated with you. Exactly, it's fucking embarrassing. I could have used Fellaini as a mop, said C. You could have. I'd wonder where that hair went. Surely that hair was in a museum there somewhere at this point. Get Dembele at all costs, said Neil Anthony. His time at Barca is like Henry at Juventus. He's suited to the Premier League. He can be the missing link that we need. He's a very good player, Neil, absolutely. If he came into the club, I doubt you'd find many fans that would be unhappy at us signing him. The fee would be interesting. Well, like I've always said no, because I'd heard the fee, the Barca wanted their money back, so they wanted the 120 odd million that they paid for him. If they took a loss and it was a reasonable enough fee, as a player, I mean, he's quality. Bobby Duncan liked my Insta comment twice. What a beautiful guy, said Ferno. Sound nice. He's ignored one of my messages actually. Not that he should fucking get back to me. I've no right to have my messages answered, but I did send him a message asking him about interviewing him for something, and I never heard back. But look, I'm sure he's a very busy dude, or he just doesn't want to do interviews. Whatever, he's perfectly within his rights. DT is like 30 and tells 10-year-olds to suck their mum. That just makes me even more. I'm 37, so he'd have 7 years on me as well, so he should have age on his side. But I guarantee you, I would punch him around a ring for charity. Happily. Happily. Oh, it would be my pleasure. I wouldn't even wear a headguard. I'd refuse to wear a headguard. I'd let him wear one all he wants, but I'd refuse. It would be a pleasure. A pleasure to do that for charity. Gark will build Fellaini's cutting so he can pretend he's finally got pubes. DT is 38 or 39. There you go. So we're similar age then. There you are. There you go. I mean, we could do a whole boxing league. We'd have somebody from every club. We could have one fan channel from every club. We could do a 20-team Premier League boxing channel. There you go. There's content for somebody. So we've gone from DT being 30 to 39 in the space of about 25 seconds there. I heard that we might be in for Dembele for 85 or 86 million, or is that a rumour? There are rumours of it, mate. We've been long linked to him. Ever since he joined Barcelona, something hasn't quite clicked there. I don't know if he hasn't settled in, if he isn't quite at the calibre Barca were expecting, I don't know. But there's been stories about him wanting to get away from Barcelona, or Barcelona wanting to get rid of him ever since he joined, pretty much. So links to Liverpool have appeared in the past couple of months, even maybe gone back as far as the last transfer window, so maybe there's something there, I don't know. Thoughts on us signing Bentner for 30 million in January? I would say very unlikely. Very unlikely, I would say. Are we hang on, I'm confused here. Which guy are we talking about here when we say Bentner? Just give me an absolute, mate, because my head is confused when you say... I'm thinking of Nicholas Bentner and I'm going, nah, no, fuck off. He's not going to be locked up for hitting a taxi driver or something. Goldbridge even what's this? Garbage even bitched DT, so he's no hard man. There you go. Bentner got into trouble for not paying for a taxi. He did indeed. I was just saying that. Alright, taking the piss. No, I was just wondering for a second, was there some young lad that I hadn't heard of called Bentner, another fella with the same name? Right, guys, I'm going to leave it there for tonight. Fingers crossed we'll get this charity boxing thing up and running at some point in the future. I said this before, I'd love to do it. Never mind DT and all that shit, that would just be a bonus. It would be deadly. I'd love to do a charity boxing thing at one time in my life. Lord Bentner is definitely not worth 13 million. Him and Clavan, put them in the same team and there you go. You have a Champions League winning side straight away. To be fair, Goldberg showed who's boss when he played against DT and triggered him so much. In what, FIFA? If we're talking about FIFA, fair enough. I'm talking about stepping inside the boxing ring and actually showing him who's the boss inside the boxing ring. That'd be much more fun to me than beating him in a game of FIFA. What else we got? Packet of Monster Munch at most. He punched the taxi driver, said Brian. Don't disrespect Lord like that. Oh, there was a positive story actually to end tonight with non-Liverpool related. So before we head off, you guys might, N'Golo Kante. Everybody loves N'Golo Kante. Who doesn't love N'Golo Kante? He may be a Chelsea player, but he's a fucking wonderful fella. So there's a story doing the rounds today, and it comes from the Football League site, the same people that Der Spiegel got all their stuff about, all the stuff about Manchester City and PSG. Anyway, so it is N'Golo Kante has formed a shell corporation, an offshore corporation, because he was asked to by Chelsea Football Club. I think Chelsea have asked all their players, or a lot of their players maybe, to form this offshore company to be paid their wages into. It's basically a way of avoiding tax. And the players set themselves up as a business, I believe. The wages are paid into that business, then the business pays corporation tax, a much lower rate of tax, whatever anyway. He's refused. N'Golo Kante has refused. He set up the company, but he's refused to be paid into it. He just wants to be paid normally, and he just wants to be a normal member of society, pay his taxes, do the right thing. What a man. What a fucking man N'Golo Kante is. How could you not like that dude? What a man. So what a nice way to finish up on a nice story like that. And well done N'Golo Kante, mate. You keep being you, because you rock, mate. Absolutely. You may be a Chelsea player, but you're one hell of a fella. So great story to finish on. Thanks so much again, guys, for everything. Would you ever consider doing a fan phone in after matches and make the channel even more interactive? Yes, absolutely, Mark. We've tried it before, believe it or not. We just couldn't get people to buy. But absolutely, it's easy for us to do. The tech is here for us to do it. So yeah, definitely consider doing it. But we tried it before. We gave people the option to contact us if they wanted to do it, and we didn't really get many bites, so we just stopped doing it. But yeah, it's definitely there. N'Golo Kante and Juan Mata, great guys who play for shit clubs. Absolutely, Jace. What Juan Mata has done as well, the charity he set up, is amazing. Two really lovely fellas, as you've said. You could not dislike either of those two guys. Right, what's this? I totally ring in, Craig. Use Discord or Skype. We have our own thing that we use. We have something called GoToMeeting, which it's actually a paid service that we use. It's really fucking good. So yeah, we use that for our phone-ins and stuff, and we use that for our live stream. So it will be easy to bring people in on it. It's just a matter of me sending people a link. Click on that link, they come straight on. Job done. Skype is shit. We used to use Skype before. It's too unstable. The quality is not good. Video particularly is shite over Skype. So now we use another site called GoToMeeting. It's really good. We pay a subscription for it every month, and yeah, it's great. So that's what we use. So if you guys want to bring that back, we can definitely talk about doing that. It's no problem to us to bring people on for reaction shows. No problem at all. Does anyone even use Skype anymore? I don't know, mate. I don't think they've really moved with the times. It's weird. Skype crashes too easy. Absolutely. I used to use Skype when I first started doing podcasts. I used Skype all the time to make the calls to people. So unstable. And we weren't even using it for video at the time. We were just using it for audio. It's just too unstable. Not really. I mainly use Discord. Just gave another option. Zoom is good, said Kevlar. For what we need it for, you see, we need a few more things. The program we use allows us to screen record. It allows us to pull audio files. It allows us to have up to 50 people live on video link at one time. It's really, really good. You can get a free 2-week trial of it, by the way, if anybody ever wants to go and have a look. It's called gotomeeting.com. They even have a cool little app that you can use. But yeah, I'd recommend that to anybody, by the way, who's looking to use video streaming or anything like that. Dave introduced it to us. It's absolutely brilliant. Can't you use Cerebro, like the X-Men? That's gone over my head, buddy. Not into X-Men or comic characters, man, so that's gone completely over my head. Anyway, on that, I'm going to call it a night, guys. Thanks a million. We'll talk tomorrow about these phone-ins if you want to do them after the games. It's defo something we could get back. That would have to be great to have a group call in. No problem. It's there. The technology is there for us. We can do it. No problem whatsoever. If you guys want to consider it done, happy to do it. Jace said I've only ever used Skype for podcasts, but it's sketchy as hell. It is, Jace. It's just you can't get the audio quality that you need, mate. Anyway, we'll talk about this tomorrow, guys. If you want, do remind me, and I'll set it up and make sure we're ready to go for the future. On that one, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Apologies for the couple of fuck ups tonight with the technology. Don't know what happened when it kept crashing. Appreciate the shit out of all of you. Thank you for coming on, and up the motherfucking Reds.